Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today's video is going to be about using my platform to shill for companies. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, I want to tell you guys a little bit about the reason why I'm making this video today. Um Last week CAMMUS Racing sent me out another C5 to make 20 videos for that wheel. They simply want to increase awareness over the brand, over the CAMMUS brand. Now, if you've been at the channel for a while, you know that I have been covering CAMMUS for the last year. They've sent me all of their major products, and never once has CAMMUS said anything about, oh man, we need you to do this. Never once have they paid me any money. I remember it was like last January, last January, or maybe it was December. Maybe it was December. CAMMUS reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we would love for you to we would love for you to we would love the opportunity to send you our racing wheel, which was at that time the DDWB 21, which was a 15 Newton meter wheel rim. Nobody had really heard about these. If you guys get online and you look up CAMMUS, you'll see that like a lot of the channels that they've sent these guys out to at first were smaller channels, you know, like mine, a lot of smaller channels, and then they got boosted media to actually cover the C5 and stuff. I believe maybe there's some more, you know, bigger prominent guys out there now that have actually covered these products, but because most of them were probably just turning them down because nobody had heard of them before. They're a Chinese company. They've built. I think over in China they built like this EV race car that their main thing is go karts. They build the go karts. They build all the stuff for them. They manufacture all of those, but they wanted to get into sim racing because over in China, I guess they were something about like the like regulations or something to like produce their racing car. They were unable to something like caused it so they couldn't do that or something. So they took that technology and they put it into the sim racing. And I'll tell you, like from the moment, and see, this is probably why I'm like, whoa, dude, CAMMUS is awesome, is because my experience with sim racing up till then was like everything from the bottom up to a TX. Like the TX from Thrustmaster was my like the last thing I'd used before going direct drive, and the difference from going from that TX to a 15 Newton meter direct drive wheel was absolutely incredible. Like I was like blowing the freak away. And so off started my what do you call it, like my fixation for like for direct drive wheels. And you know, like I love direct drive. Like I wouldn't recommend buying anything under a direct drive wheel just due to the fact that like the overall experience that you get from like a belt driven or a gear driven over to a direct drive wheel is absolutely incredible. Like it's night and freaking day. And so yeah, guys, I've been covering CAMMUS for about a year. I like their products. Everything they've sent me has been good. It's been consistent. It's worked across the board. The only setup they sent that I absolutely believe like I needed more work was the LP8. The LP8 had like this and I got a prototype model, so I don't know if they're better now. The only thing that I've gotten was a prototype model of the LP8. But they're no longer trying to push the LP8 or it seems like the DDWB 21. They've brought up this new technology. As you can see, like right now, I actually have the CAMMUS C12 hooked up right now because that's the one I'm going to start working on and start really covering that. I believe that one there was an actual. I don't know if my version of the C12 is a prototype or not. I would assume that this is the in the packaging and everything that it came in. I would assume that this is the like the full blown retail market one. They sent them out to us before they even announced them. They let us test them out and try them out. and then put up our video. I put up a really long video for that one. It was like an hour and 44 minutes. I went through and I tried to cover as much of that as I possibly could. But I haven't made any more videos since then because I had just gotten the I've been focused on like doing the Nvidia and AMD stuff. But I plan to put more videos out for the C12. And they didn't ask me to do anything for that one. They're just like, hey, we got this coming out. Do you want to test it for us and make a video? I was like, absolutely. There was no other anything like this is the first time with the C5 that they've ever actually asked me to produce a set amount of videos, and is because they're really trying to push this, and I get that, it's a marketing push. I'm like, yeah, dude, I would absolutely do that for you. The C5 is an incredible wheel. It's highly portable. You can do whatever you want with that. For $250, go find something that's going to be better than a direct drive wheel for $250. I dare you. Like, seriously, you go to Best Buy and like the T248 that feels like a toy is like $300. You know what I mean? Like I will, and it's funny that people call people shills all the time, because I do it too. I mean, there's like certain people, that they're out there absolutely just shilling. And if you really look at it, if somebody really likes a product, I don't think we should really call people shills. I mean, myself included, man, because I do that all the time. Like I was doing that, with like the Nvidia content creators and stuff. And now that I've actually like taken a step back and I've really looked at the overall Nvidia the overall Nvidia product, and I bought myself a founder's card, and I'm using that. I've come to the realization that, like, dude, there's a lot of things that clearly people love about Nvidia, and I can understand and see why they would just automatically dismiss, like AMD or Intel and be like, Nvidia's the best. Like, I get that, man. Nvidia has amazing name recognition. So it does me no good to sit and, call other people out for being a shill when, dude, everybody loves Nvidia. Everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to try to go against the grain with that, because even I have been able to get this 4070 Super up running and make the experience significantly better. But yeah, it did take a little bit of legwork. The same thing with the Fanatec setup. At first I was like, dude, I don't like this Fanatec setup. It feels clunky. It doesn't feel that good. But then when I actually got in there and I started playing with stuff and like really tuning my mind to like sit there and force myself to make it a better experience, I finally got that thing set up. And that's the difference, between like CAMMUS versus Fanatec or AMD versus Nvidia, is there's a reason why Fanatec and Nvidia are a lot more pronounced, and they do carry that weight behind them for having a premium product, having a quality product. And that's because once you get into the Fanatec DD Pro and you really fine tune it and you play around with the settings and you get everything set up the way you like it, it provides an incredible experience. But for me, with CAMMUS provided an incredible experience with right out of the gate with stock settings. I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. And I was like, dude, I don't even have to play with anything. It just feels incredible. The Fanatec on the contrary, even with its out of the box settings, I was just like, dude, this does not feel as good as the CAMMUS setup. But after I've played around with it and I've tinkered with it and I've gotten the Fanatec all set up and got it to my liking, it's incredible. Like, it feels great. I love my Fanatec wheelbase. I do. I love Fanatec. I think Fanatec is definitely worth buying. I will say that Fanatec has more name recognition than CAMMUS. You can 100% do, a lot more stuff. It's compatible with all games, whereas CAMMUS, it's kind of hit and miss sometimes when it comes to certain games. Most games, you have to get in there and set it up as generic because they just don't have enough name recognition right now. So when I get asked to do something, by some of these companies that are willing to send me out, like, products and stuff, I sit back and I really assess, is this going to be good for the channel? Is this going to be good for, putting my name on, something like that? And over the last year of using CAMMUS products, I haven't found any real reason to not be like, okay, yeah, I will do that for you guys. I like the products. You guys are really good about sending me stuff when you got brand new stuff and all of that stuff, and you let me check it out. You trust my opinion. And they've asked me for my feedback, and I've given them feedback. I've been like, okay, yeah, this is something that I would like to see changed. When they first sent me the C5, I told them, I was like, I would like a bigger wheel rim. I would like it to be able to take it off and put a different wheel rim on. And a lot of my colleagues in the sim racing community said the same thing. And now we have the C12, which is a 12 Newton meter all-in-one wheel setup that you can swap out your wheel rim. And it's got better, more significantly better paddle shifters. Every problem that I had, or every issue that I was like, yeah, maybe this should do a little better for the C5. They've completely fixed every single problem that I had. A bigger wheel rim, 300 millimeters is what they ship with this on the C12. They actually have another wheel rim that you can switch out if you want the F1 experience. The bolt pattern is 270 or is it millimeters or centimeters, something like that, that you can actually use any other wheel rim that you want. You could put bigger ones on there. You could put a 400 millimeter round rim on that thing and use it as a truck driving simulator. And I think that would absolutely be incredible, because the mounts that come off the back, if you tilt that, upward and you run it horizontally, you could 100% get a bigger rim and use that as a truck simulator. I do highly recommend looking into that if you are into those truck simulators and stuff. That could like really help make your setup a lot better. What else? Yeah, so like going out of your way to just call people a shill just because they're doing something for some of these companies, like we have a platform here on YouTube, and companies value that. They do. They come to us to cover their stuff for them. And the best thing I can do for the company and for my community is just be honest. Is just be honest and give you guys my honest raw opinion about things. And I've always done that. I've always been like that. Like, everybody out there wants to shill Stellar Blade right now. I'm not 100%. Okay, so I get the reasons why people want to shill it. It's a PlayStation exclusive. It's got a curvy girl in it as the protagonist, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, two of those things don't even matter to me. Like, they don't even matter to me. What matters to me mostly about that game, and if you've watched this channel for a long time, you know that, like, I value certain different things more. I would say I value open world games a little bit more than corridor games. So yeah, when I see something like that, like a corridor game, and it doesn't like blow my socks off visually and stuff like that, then I tend to be like, oh, I don't really know about that. So I get that everybody out there, likes to lob the whole thing about shills, like they did with Boosted Media, man. Like that guy, he gets a lot of stuff from Fanatec, and he's really adamant about Fanatec being pretty good. And at first I disagreed with him. I was like, no, dude, CAMMUS is awesome and it's way cheaper. Why would you recommend something that's more expensive? But then after I sit back and I really get into things, and that's the thing, man. You listen to these people and then you get your Fanatec experience and it doesn't blow your socks off because it's like expensive. It's expensive. So you're expecting this thing to just blow everything else out of the water. And the same thing with like Nvidia and all of that stuff. You expect these products that everybody shills for to blow your socks off. And when that doesn't happen, when that first initial user experience is underwhelming, then it leads you to be mad. It leads you to be mad, and you're like, you're frustrated because you just spent all this money, and when you don't actually sit down and apply yourself to actually learn about it, because you do, man. Like, you have to, if you want the top quality experience, you're gonna have to learn how to utilize the thing. And I'm guilty of that too, my friends. I've made lots of videos being mad at something and then coming right back, like a little while later and being like, all right, you guys were right. The product's actually pretty dang cool. And and that's just the user experience, man. Like you got to accept some of the responsibility for letting yourself get super hyped up to buy a product and then it not like blowing your socks off at first. I get it, man. Like, I do it all the time. That's why I say, like, that's my biggest thing. I always tell you, look, guys, I'm a consumer just like you. I make mistakes. I jump the gun sometimes, and I Come out, because that's just me, man. That's just being real. That's being raw and honest. The thing that everybody says that they like about this channel is me just being real and being honest with you guys. And dude, that's what it's always been about. I don't have no axe to grind. I don't have no company to put on a pedestal to tell you that I love them all the time. Like, I love AMD, like I do, because it gave me a freaking good experience out of the box and it was easy to set up. I like that. I don't have a whole lot of time in my life to sit back and like try to figure things out. Like, I shouldn't need a computer science degree to figure out how to use a graphics card. I'm a console gamer, man. Everything is easy and right there at my fingertips. Everything is convenient. You know what I mean? Like, like, why do I have to go out of my way to learn how to do all of this stuff so that I can play a dang video game? You know what I mean? And that's the exact thing that a console gamer is thinking before they switch over to PC. And when they get to PC, when they're at PC's doorstep and they buy that Nvidia GPU because everybody hyped it up, and they find themselves disappointed because they can't do something, or they got to figure something out and they just want to play video games. I get that. Like, you have different types of people. Some people will go in there and like got to read the manual and do all this and all of that stuff. Some people just want it to plug and play. So it creates confusion and frustration. And, I like to show you guys that. I like to show you my frustration. I like to show you the things that I go through, because that's me, man. Like, sometimes I'm all about just plug and play. Sometimes I'm a little bit more focused when I have more time. When I have more time to actually do things and get in there and experience things, like I'm doing with the 4070 right now, with the 4070 Super. I'm actually taking my time. I'm looking at things. I've got a little bit better understanding now because of the AMD experience for things that I like, and so I look for those. I specifically look for that option to try to make my Nvidia experience better so that it blows my socks off like the AMD did out of the box. So there's just user experience is a major thing, and I give a lot of credit to user experience. I mean, like, in open world games, guys, I love open world games. I like to explore. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things of those types of games. So I do, and yes, I kind of come off shilly for open world games because I personally am getting my money's worth because I'm exploring the world and I'm having fun and I'm being immersed in that experience. So in my opinion, those are worth it to me. And then, like, I try to shill some of your other games too, my friends. I do. Like, think about it, man. Suicide Squad was freaking awesome. I play video games to have fun. Plain and simple. I play video games to have fun. If people are mad at me because I'm actually able to play a game like Suicide Squad or Forspoken or Saints Row or any of these games, Gollum, and actually enjoy my time with them and have fun, I don't know what to tell you guys, man. Like, there are so many forces on the internet, on YouTube, on social media that go out of their way to try to tear down every single thing they can. Especially like with the SBI right now, with Sweet Baby and DEI and ESG and all of these things, like trying to, cram this stuff into our video games. Even if it's in there, guys, I still try to take each game at face value. We know there was SBI and all of that stuff in Forspoken. Honestly, guys, through that story and through that gameplay, that didn't bug me. I didn't find any reason to be like, okay, that bugged me. Was the story cheesy? Absolutely. Could it have been better? Yeah. Did the gameplay and the combat and everything save that game? Absolutely. I most of the gameplay on that is for that. Very rarely did I go out of my way to talk about like the story or any of that stuff. Yes, that game was awesome. I loved the movement system. I loved everything about it. Same goes for Suicide Squad. I actually found that game fun to play. I didn't have any issues playing through that game and having some fun with that. It was fun. It lasted 11 hours, whatever. Same with Spider-Man 2, about 11 hours. So I was just like, all right, cool, yeah. I had a good time with it. I played it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time playing the game. I found myself fully immersed in that experience. So it's very hard to run a YouTube channel and to, I don't want to have to watch a bunch of other YouTube videos on a product that I'm going to cover just to fall in line with everybody else, because that's what everybody else does. That's what it seems like. Very rarely do you ever get people that come out and are just, give you an honest take on something. Everybody jumps to the negativity because that's what sells and that's what people want to watch. You wonder why my channel grows at a slower pace, because I don't try to go out of my way to do that all the time. Like I do when I vent my anger, I do, but I don't go out of my way to to try to create controversy all the time just for cheap clicks. Like I don't do that. And I know that sometimes it probably seems like that due to the fact that, like when I first switched over to AMD blew my freaking socks off, man. Like coming from Nvidia to a much easier to figure out experience, like it blew my socks off. So I was really excited about it. I was really happy about it. And, I probably went a little bit too overboard and bought like 3 AMD cards and all of that stuff. But I like it. I like that user experience. And I just feel like people are very dismissive of the AMD experience. So yes, guys, I'm like your friendly neighborhood shill. Your friendly neighborhood shill, man. I'm just like you. I'm a consumer just like you. I buy probably 95% of the stuff I cover on this channel. Every once in a while, like CAMMUS or somebody else will send me something, and then I'll cover that product for them. But yeah, dude, I only give you guys my honest opinion. I only give you my honest opinion. And that's the best that any of us can really do. So yeah, take it or leave it. Take it for whatever it is. Like if you want to believe me, if you don't want to believe me, I don't really, I don't know really know what to say. You'll just have to pick and choose the videos that I make. Which ones align with your beliefs, which ones align with what you like, and take them for what they are, man. They're just my opinion. That's it. They're just my opinion. There's no science or anything wrapped up in any of it. It's just my opinion, man, how I'm feeling. And trust me, man, my mood changes from like day to day. Sometimes I'm in a good mood and I cover something in a good mood. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood and it comes off, sometimes that does play an effect, man. But yeah. So if you guys like my content, hit that like and subscribe button. If you like what I mean, if you appreciate this, that's cool, man. I'm just doing this for all of us, to have fun and to be excited about video games. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Easter, my friends. Happy Easter.